My name's Higham. I'm the current Vice President of Education at Keele University Students' Union.
Okay. First question I'm going to ask is, what are the main roles that the sabbatical officers take on within the union?
It's quite a big question, really. It's all up to the individual sabbatical officer, to be honest. We all have our own individual portfolios, so I'm the education officer, so my main remit is meant to be about representation on the academic side of Keele. But realistically, as a sabbatical officer, you take on every role of every department within the Students' Union. You end up sitting on every committee in the university, regardless of what your title is, whether you're education, welfare, sports and fitness, societies, or president. You all have this equal share in what you do, which I guess a lot of people don't really know. You'd think, oh, he's an education side, therefore he just deals with education. Realistically, I've just been downstairs talking about the price of cakes for the new coffee shop. Yeah, there isn't a normal working day. It's a cliche, but there really isn't. It goes from attending meetings to dealing with an individual case with a student to talking about the next drink deal you're going to offer, or what act you should book for the big festival that's coming up, or anything. So, I mean, you can, realistically, the job description is that you do your portfolio and you don't have to do anything else, but you find yourself getting so involved in the union, and you sort of, I guess you want to do more because you want to see the union thrive. So.
Yeah, sure. That's great. Can you explain to us a little bit about how the election system works in terms of requirements? And
yeah, I mean, I think the only real requirement is that you are a student at Keele. There are other bits and pieces that are due to legalities, because we're now a charity, that you have to not have certain convictions, etc. But when it comes down to it, you just have to nominate yourself. It's not quite as simple as that, because you have obviously deadlines to meet with, manifestos and publications, publicity, sorry, you have to stick in, but to actually stand, all you have to do is go and fill in a nomination form, which is incredibly simple, so yeah, it's pretty easy.
Okay. And what happens after you get elected? Because we understand it involves like taking a year out and kind of committing full time to the job.
Yeah, so it's quite strange, because you find out in March, but you don't start. Your handover starts in June, so you have a month where you hand over from the previous sabbatical that's doing your position. So I suppose the time in between is a real bizarre limbo, because you're catching up with work normally. You've got all your deadlines and exams like everyone else does. Then once you take office, yeah, it's a job for a year. You can't really think of it as any other thing. There have been other sabs that have done a part-time course as well, but I think realistically you have to commit to it like it's a proper job. You're contracted to 30 hours a week. You realistically do a lot more. It's a full-time job. That's how you have to look at it, I guess.
Sure. Okay, and just one more question, and that's, how are the societies in Keele related with the union, involved in funding and things like that?
The societies are as independent as we can make them, really. We'd love, realistically, for every society to be self-sustaining and be able to develop its own income and not rely on the union at all. But in the same sort of thought, we're there to facilitate them in whatever way we can. If you start talking about student-led services such as Nightline, LGBT, mediation, Q concourse, etc., they, I guess, have a more sort of structured process through which we support them with, whereas other societies sort of get their funding on a basis where they ask for it because they want to do it, and then a specific project or an event, etc., and then we approve it on the basis that it would benefit their members to a specific way. So.
Great, well, thank you very much.
No problem at all.